Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I am playing with the McGrath Mothership III palette. This is the Subversive and looks like this here. This is a very deep, fun fantasy palette. It's got some really beautiful shades, but overall I would say this is a deeper palette compared to the others. And today I'm going to be playing with this palette, doing an eye look, and then using some McGrath products on my face, some blush, highlighter, lip products. So this is all in celebration of the restock of this palette on McGrath's website. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the new Bridgerton release. There are some really pretty things in that collection, the Bridgerton II release, that is. So let's get into it. So before I get into swatches, if you want a quick rundown of my ranking of all the McGrath Mothership palettes, I have a separate video. If you guys are curious, this palette, Mothership 3, is number 8 on my ranking list. So it's not one of my favorite palettes, but I still think I can get some really pretty looks out of it. There's some really pretty sparkly shades in here. But if you guys want a quick rundown, you want a quick view of swatches, that's a great video to check out if you're pondering which palette to get. I recommend that, checking out that video. Okay, so I'm going to show you the packaging of this palette really quick. This is the beautiful outer box that the palette comes in. And this is the insert of the shade name that comes in the palette. But this is the box right here, and are the shade names. So I'm going to throw up those swatches now. As I said, you might notice this is a deeper palette if you have a lighter skin tone, a little bit grungy. There's a black shade. Pat's early palettes had a black shade in each of them. That's matte. But there's two deep brown shades in here as well. Kind of grayish, blackish with some glitter in it. That's very grungy. So we're going into deeper territory in this palette. Alright, so I'm going to do an application using some of these eyeshadows, and while I do that, I'm going to talk through the Bridgerton II Collection coming out. No primer on my eyes, just a little bit of setting powder. Just to kick things off, I'm going to go into Lazarus, this like somewhat satiny brown shade. It has a little bit of hard pan, I think, because I probably got my brush or my finger wet when I swatched it, but plenty of color payoff with this one. I'm using the Refer number 1 brush. It's a natural hair brush, and I feel like with this palette you almost have to go in a smoky direction. So this, you guys can see, it's a very deep brown. So I'm going to keep this on the outside. Now I want to have a good base to build on, because some of these special shades don't quite have like a strong base to them. They're kind of toppery, glittery. I'm interested in using this blue one today. So I'm going to use some of this to kind of lay down over my lid. This is deep shade. And I'm going in with my Sonia G Worker Pro to pat that on. And then using that same shade underneath the eye, using my Refer number 3. Now this is a very messy application, but I will be blending out right now. So Refer number 15. Just laying down a base of color, trying to get that shape where I want it to be so we can play with color a little bit more easily. It's a very overcast, cloudy day. I think this look really goes with that cloudy mood. So I'm taking the Refer number 12 and blending out the powder eyeshadow underneath my eye. Now there is a black shade in here that I can use for liner if I feel like it, but I do have a Pat McGrath liquid eyeliner and the black eye pencil from her as well. So I've got some options. All right, so we have that deeper base to work with now. I'm going to start with Blitz Amethyst, which is that blue, grungy purple, kind of sparkly shade there. And just see where this takes me. Before I put on that, I'm going to use Pat McGrath's Fetish Eyes Artistry Wand. Now, this may seem like somewhat of a joke, but this helps the glitter stick. It's kind of like a clear eye primer, and I will say it is going to affect that brown eyeshadow underneath, but I'm hoping I get more bold color payoff and less fallout by applying this on first. I don't know, it's kind of like a less sticky Vaseline product and not as wet or goopy. Okay, so using my finger, look at that shade, isn't that pretty? Tapping this on. Still got a little bit of fallout from my finger there. How pretty is that freaking shade? I think brown and blue is such a classic combination. So still got a little bit of fallout underneath my eye there. You probably can see that. I am good right there with just those 3 eyeshadows. What do you guys think? I love Pat McGrath makeup videos. They are so much fun for me to film. It just gives me a really good chance to play in a palette. I haven't used it in a while, and her makeup is just so much fun. All right, so I do want to like brighten up my inner corner a little bit. I don't know that I want to use that white pink special shade, so I'm going to use Skin Show Fever with this light beigey kind of shimmery shade in the inner corner. I think I would prefer something a little bit more icy to go with the blue, but this is what we have in the palette. It's just a little bit more subdued shade, I think. Not quite as bright, but still pretty. Well, I feel like I'm done. That was quick. We could certainly take this to another level by using even more glitter. Like this pink would be pretty along with it, but I think I'm good right here. I think this is enough eyeshadow fun for this palette for me. I try to make my looks wearable. I feel like this is a wearable kind of fun date night or special occasion, or something you want a little bit grungy. You want to incorporate some blue with some browns. And although I did get a little bit of fallout, I did feel like this artistry wand helped a little bit there. So I'm not going to use the liquid liner. I'm going to use the Permagel Ultra Glide Pencil in Extreme Black. So the Bridgerton II Collection. I did not get Bridgerton 1. I don't really plan on getting anything from Bridgerton 2. The palettes, I have to say, the eyeshadow palettes look very similar. There's like shades of blue again. There's like a deep reddish shade. So I'm a little bit surprised how similar it is. But what I really like about this collection, it feels a lot more thought out, and I like the other stuff in the collection, like the blush palette looks really cool, very different for Pat. I don't think we've seen anything like that before. It looks very pretty the way it's laid out. I don't know that those shades are going to be for me. Those blushes look really bright, so I don't know. It looks just like a pretty collector's item, to be honest. But I don't know that I would use it, and I don't really buy makeup just to sit there and not be used. But if you guys are into that kind of collection where you just kind of buy everything and it all goes together, this collection looks really nice. And then the like glow powders, the body glitter powder poof thing, that looks really cute. I don't know about the shades. The lightest shade is like a pink body glitter, which it looks very glittery on the skin. I would not buy or use that. But it looks cool. The little poof, I think, that would have been cool if she had like a loose powder or something in there. And then there's new lipsticks, which I believe they are new shades. They look like new shade names to me. Those look really pretty. Some of those shades I would be tempted to get, but We shall see.
Forgot to mention the last product in the Bridgerton II collection is this Velvet Kohl eyeliner. I won't be picking it up. It just comes in the black shade and looks like a smudgy eyeliner.
Yeah, and off the top of my head, I think that's it. Those are the things that stood out to me in the collection. It just seemed a little bit more special than the first go around. So I'm excited that she's kind of coming up with different ways to package things, and we're seeing new shades of things as well. It's always hard for me to do eyeliner with one hand. So I have never been able to get the black coffee eyeliner, the deep brown. I would have used that instead of this, but I only have the black one. All right, so I'm gonna throw on some mascara, clean up the under eye, and then I'll be back to apply some cheeks, some highlighter, and some lips. All right, here we are, all cleaned up, mascara on. Cleaned up my under eye. It's not like the ideal concealer situation. We're looking a little bit heavy under there, in my opinion, but I made the mistake of putting concealer on before this eye makeup. So we have double layer. I have 4 blushes from Pat McGrath. I know, it's a lot. I decided to go with the Divine Rose shade of the Divine Blush, which is this pretty rose color. I'm going in with my Wayne Goss number 10 brush and just sweeping this on. It is a pink shade. It is not the shimmery version of this blush. It's a little more satin matte, and we have some color there. I love these blushes, they feel so good. And then for highlighter, I believe this was limited edition. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in Lunar Nude. This one right here. Super pretty highlight. I apologize if it's not available anymore. It's probably not. But I have a huge, this is a lot of product. I don't want it to go to waste just because you guys can't get it anymore. But Pat has a ton of highlighters. A lot of them are limited edition. They're all really nice. You just gotta find a shade that you will like. All right, so we are all highlighted up. Let's get into lips real quick. I have the Permagel Ultra Lip Pencil in Suburbia. This is the Matte Trance Lipstick in Soft Core. Beautiful pink shade. I'm trying to stay a little bit cool toned here. Now I have 2 glosses here, both Lust glosses. This is the Divine Rose gloss, and this is the Bronze Venus. I might just do a little bit of Bronze Venus on the lower lip here. It's a little bit of shine and sparkle. My Mothership III Subversive eye look. This was a lot of fun to play with. If you guys want to pick it up, even though I did not rank it very high on my ranking of Pat McGrath palettes, I still really love these eyeshadows. I love these colors. I think it's very brown and blue grunge. I could have taken this in a different direction and gone more pink, of course, but this is a really, really fun palette. If you guys are curious about picking it up, I love any Mothership. I think you're gonna enjoy some of the shades, maybe not every shade. These are expensive palettes, so I feel like you do need to like most of the colors in the palettes to make it the most worth it. But you know, this is a pretty one if you like that deeper kind of a look. This palette really delivers that. If you're looking for like a date night palette, this palette delivers that. If you guys have any questions about this palette or any other Pat McGrath products, please comment below. If you guys are excited about the new Bridgerton II collection coming out, if you want me to pick anything up, you want me to try something, please comment below. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.